kick things off with get your thoughts on this morning's announcement, the recognition of your players receiving the all conference awards, and just kind of what that means, not only for the season but for your program and for those players.
Yeah, just proud of them. It's always an honor when you get voted on by your peers, in this place, the coaches. I know it'd probably be difficult to vote on us. I mean, I'm sure we had a couple more I would think DeJon and Justin both were deserving of first team honors. I didn't even see who was the first team. I didn't even see it.
For Quentin was first team.
I know that. I said who was the first team?
Oh, the first team. I have it right here. First team for the conference was Grimes, Gardner, Nolly from Memphis, Kendrick Davis, and Etienne from Wichita State.
Yeah, that's a good group. It's hard to argue. It's hard to argue against any of them. I think it's difficult to pick all conference teams, especially when a team has a lot of guys. Like Justin, because of his rebounding, but he didn't score a lot of points. Like Nate, Nate made second team all conference last year. I think he averaged 10 points a game. Justin averaged about 8 or 9, and then averaged almost 10 rebounds a game. DeJon's points. Everybody gets infatuated with points, but those guys, their play. They're more culture guys and play the way we ask them to play. DeJon especially, I think, could have scored more points on some other team probably, but our guys play to win. But it also tells you what a great job our staff does in terms of evaluation and recruiting. We have guys that are we can't vote for our own players on these awards. Player of the year, I voted for Etienne. He's a good player, but I would have picked Quentin. But every kid that wins an award, they're deserving. DeJon, Defensive Player of the Year, right? I haven't seen the list. Those guys were telling me who won the awards. I didn't even know who won them. I knew that Quentin was first team all conference and Co-Player of the Year. DeJon, Defensive Player of the Year, very deserving. Who else did we have?
Justin was most improved.
Very deserving.
You had Marcus on second team along with DeJon.
Very deserving. What about did Tremont make the all freshman team?
He did not.
Who were the 5 freshmen?
Let me see. I can tell you that. Just bear with
Isaiah Adams from UCF, Terry Eason from Cincinnati, Musa Cisse from Memphis, Caleb Murphy from USF, Damian Dunn from Temple, and Ricky Council IV from Wichita State, Coach.
Say him again now. Say him again.
Isaiah Adams from UCF, Tari Easton from Cincinnati, Musa Cisse from Memphis, Caleb Murphy from USF, Damian Dunn from Temple, and Ricky Council IV from Wichita State.
So they picked 6, and Tremont still didn't make it, huh?
Yes, sir. Next question will go to Greg Bailey from KTRK. Greg, go ahead, please, sir.
Hey, Kelvin. A lot of people obviously very excited about your contract extension. How has your love of what you do kind of evolved with this group that you talk about so highly? And how, if at all, did this group that you've coached this year so well and so successfully, how did they motivate you to continue for a pretty good length of time?
Yeah, I mean, the contract extension, my agent started talking to me about that, I think, in December. It was done a while ago. I'd forgotten about it, to be honest with you. And then they told me it was going to, I think Jeff mentioned it was going to be announced yesterday. I think when you get to my point, I don't even know. I mean, I know a lot of people congratulate me, but we'll see. That's neither here nor there to me, really. I enjoy coaching this team this year. Teams don't motivate me. Coaching motivates me. I'm motivated to coach every team. Every team's special to me. I can't tell you how many texts I get. It's almost embarrassing to me to get all these texts about contract extension. When you're 65, the last thing you're worried about is being extended. I'm just glad to be here. I get so many players but every team I've ever coached was special to me, and none more special than the others. This one's the most important one I've coached because this is the one I'm coaching. This time next year, I'll say the same thing about the next one, but they're all special to me. I don't pick favorite teams. I had one team that I thought was the best team in the nation, could have won the national championship. That was in 2002. That team was, I thought, best team in the country. Maryland won it. The team they beat to get there was Kansas, and we beat them both that year. But there are other teams, they're all special. I guess one day I'll look back and, I think about those teams at Montana Tech. I still have a relationship with a lot of those kids. There was a kid on that team that I coached named Doyle Benaby, the CEO of an oil and gas company over in San Antonio. Proud of Doyle. Another kid's a vice president at Second Command at Montana Tech. Durrell Awoma, just retired, oil and gas industry. He spent most of his life living in the UK, Great Britain. I can go down the list. Teran Carter, my starting point guard. He's been over here with his family to see us play. Washington State, Mark Hendrickson, who pitched for the Toronto Blue Jays and played for the 76ers. He called and asked me would I go to his induction ceremony at Washington State back in Spokane. Karen and I flew back there for that. I have great relationships with my former players, and I'm so blessed to do that. That means more to me than anything. If we win some games in the tournament, people's going to talk about how great the team is. If we lose early, people's going to want to know, was it a disappointment? I don't give a crap about any of that stuff. Watching that senior day ceremony with Justin and DeJon and Bryson, knowing the connection I have with those kids and the relationship I'm going to have with them going forward, trust me, that's way more important to me than this other stuff. I just love coaching, love to compete, try to win. You're going to win a bunch of games if you're good. And I've always been blessed. I've always had good teams. I've never really had a team to disappoint me. That first year, I loved that team. That team went 13-19. Shoot, I was really happy for that team to win 13 games. Are you kidding me? With J-Rod Stiggers as our point guard, that was pretty awesome what that team accomplished. I had very few regrets, very few complaints. There's always a game you can pick out here or there. But there's 1,976,000,000,000 coaches that all can do the same. So it's been a blessing. Been a fun ride. I'm gonna ride with this team until they tell us we can't play. Then we'll pack our uniforms. We'll put them up. We'll get ready for next year. See who we're gonna have on the team. We'll add a few, and then throw our uniform back on next year, lace them up, go play again. The other stuff, I don't get sideways with it one way or the other.
We'll go to Mark Berman with Fox 26. Mark, go ahead.
In the release yesterday, there was quotes from Dr. Couture and Tillman for Tita as it relates to the extension. Some thoughts about the support you're getting now from the president, chairman, and your school.
I can honestly say I have not seen one thing about that. Don't know anything about quotes. I think the support speaks for itself. They wanted to give me extension. I said, okay. I think it took about 30 seconds. So I don't think it's that big a deal. As far as their support, yeah, I mean, shoot. I get so many different, I don't know what, I have two different emails. One of them, I don't know any of the people that write to that, but there are a lot of, it's the public one that the, if I could turn I try to answer as many as I can. If I could turn this camera around, I'd show you there's a stack here that I usually get to in the off season. I don't have time during the season. There's so many proud, appreciative Cougar alumni that always share stories about going to watch games and high fines and how proud they are and how appreciative they are. How much they, just very complimentary. I mean, dozens and dozens and dozens. That to me is what it's all about. It's their support. I mean, we got a great program. We're winning championships. Of course, everybody's going to support it on campus. That's a given. But it's the old Coogs, that lived through the lean years. When I got here, nobody supported basketball. I appreciate that they support it now, but I remember when nobody did. And I think about those coaches that came before me. They didn't get supported, but maybe they didn't know how to be supported. Maybe when you're trying to build a program, you can't ask questions. You have to. There has to be a decision made on whether you want to win or not. And you tell real quick whether they want to win, but you don't want to be somewhere where they don't want to win. Every coach has a vision. Every coach. I'm no different than anybody else. When I got here, I had a vision. I knew what this was going to look like. Now it's a matter of whether they would help me. But that's why I always say that coaches and players win games. Administrators win championships. And our administration's done a great job of supporting our program. And for that, I'm very appreciative.
We'll go to Chris Gardner, please. Chris, please go ahead.
Coach, when will the team leave? Obviously, the tournament team, NCAA tournament team. When will the team leave for Indianapolis for all that testing protocol that the NCAA has this year?
We'll leave from Fort Worth. After our last game, that's when we'll leave.
And then will testing start when you get there?
It's already started. You have to have 7 consecutive days. We tested everybody in everybody's traveling party is 34. We had 34 people test this morning. I think that was our second one. So we still have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Today might have been the third, but we've already started the 7 days. I'm not sure what day this is. I mean, it's just a continuation of what we've been doing all year. I mean, we've been COVID tested since the summer. We never stopped. It just picked up during the season. And now for the NCAA tournament, nothing's changed. It's just another test. Instead of every other day, it's every day. So for all the participants in the NCAA tournament, we all come from testing protocols. These are no different, just every day for 7 days. Then John Houston, who does such a great job for us, he went through protocols after we get to Indianapolis and how we're going to have to do things. And but we have I read through some of the manual. It got a little bit long, and then I said, John, just tell me what to do, man.
We'll go back to Joseph Duarte with Chronicle. Joseph, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, but in most cases, it's hard to even know what you do tomorrow or this weekend in comparison to 2026 and 2027, so many years down the road. I was curious, as a coach, are you one to look at future and say, I want to coach until this or until I don't enjoy it, or what is it that how you look at that part of your life here in coaching as as you go down the road here?
Tim Floyd asked me that about an hour ago. I was when I was 31 and the head coach at Washington State. I think he was 33 and the head coach at Idaho. And he used to come over to my house at night, and we'd sit there, and he'd knock on the door, and we'd sit at the kitchen table. And Kellen and Lauren were small children, and they would be in bed. We'd sit there and talk ball to midnight, 1 a.m. We'd have a million pieces of paper, just exchanging ideas, trying to get better, trying to learn. That seems like a long time ago. It was 34 years ago, huh? But no, the answer to your question is no. I don't look at it like that. I still think I'm very young for my age. I'm vibrant. I can still do a bunch of stuff. The good Lord and Mother Nature's winning some battles, but there's other ones that I still feel like I'm hanging in there on. So as long as I'm staying on the plus side of the battles, I'm good.
Got time for one or two more questions here, everybody. We'll go to Andy Yanez with the Cougar. Andy, please go ahead.
Kelvin, at this time last year, that's when the COVID cancellations really started taking place. What is the team's mood this year? Not just the freshmen, obviously, because this is their first go round, but for Marcus Sasser too, who didn't get to experience that tournament a season ago.
I don't know. We had a hard practice yesterday, and I have no idea. That's something you should ask them. I have no idea. I haven't thought about it. The last tournament, obviously last year we would have been, a single-digit seed. I don't know worse. We could have been a 6, 7, 8, or 9, I guess. But that would have been our fourth. How many years? 1, 2, 3. So this would be our fourth straight year, right? And that's the way I look at it. We're going into our fourth consecutive NCAA tournament. DeJon Jarreau played against Georgia State, Ohio State, and Kentucky. So did Fabian. So did Bryson. So we've got 3 guys that's played 3 NCAA tournament games. I wish those guys on last year's team could have played in it, just so they have that experience. But everybody has a first time. I remember in 1994, we played Boston College in the first round NCAA tournament in Landover, Maryland, at the Capitol Center where the Bullets played at the time. And had we won that game, we would have played, I think we were in 8-9, and the 116 was North Carolina with Rasheed Wallace, Jerry Stackhouse, Jeff McGinnis, and that bunch, and they played Liberty. So had we won, would have played North Carolina. And North Carolina won that first game, I think 84-82 at the buzzer. You guys can research this, obviously. But we lost in overtime to a really, really good Boston College team. Danye Abrams, Howard Isley, really good team. But I had a good team too. And I had all those kids coming back the next year. That was a really good team, but I was excited about playing North Carolina. That's what I remember about my first NCAA tournament. But everybody has a first. I'm guessing at how many I've been to. I don't know. You guys probably know how many. I can't. I guess I could take my pencil and write it down and think about it. 1, 11, 12. Yeah. I'm probably missing some, but it's a thrill to go. But I think about Anthony Grant, Obi Toppin last year at Dayton. I think about Malachi Flynn and Brian Dutcher and that bunch at San Diego State. There were so many great stories last year that got robbed. Some of those coaches may never have a team like that. Bill Self and his team that was so good last year. Everybody just got, you just felt like you just, something was stolen from you. Somebody stole that opportunity, stole that moment, stole that memory. Now, those memories last a lifetime. Look how quickly I came up with the Washington State story. That's a story for those kids last year. The memories that you create. That for us, the guys in the arena, that 10 years from now, 20 years from now, when you guys get together, you're not going to talk about, remember that tournament we covered and the article I wrote and this. You guys don't have those memories. Your memories come from something else. It's just as significant as our memories and what we do. But everything we do is all about memories. The victories and the defeats. It's all part of it. You got some. That's why ABC's Wide World of Sports with Jim McKay, when he say the agony of defeat and the thrill of victory was. And that still is that's what this tournament's all about. Everybody every year loses heartbreaking games. It's just part of sports. The thrill of victory, the agony of defeat. But the journey. I have a lot of young coaches that text me for advice or will pose or call me and pose a scenario. One of the coaches that called me the most was Lou Hill, the coach that passed away at Rio Grande Valley. I think about him just about every day and the job he did, his wife and his two kids. And there's my balance. I think about Lou Hill. Coach, how would you handle this? Or what do you think about that? And I think that's one of the experiences that you go through when you become an older coach. Is younger coaches feel comfortable enough to ask you those things, and I welcome that because part of what we do is giving back. But making this tournament, I never lose sight how hard it is. It's hard to make the tournament. It's really hard. It's really, really hard to make the tournament. And then when you make it consistently, there's always taking it for granted from the masses that have never fought to make it. They think it's easy. It's not easy. Look at all the teams this year that's not making it. Look at the bubble teams that won't make it. Tommy Amaker is one of my best friends. When I was in the Big Ten, he was there 6 years and never made the tournament. And Joanne Howard, look at what he's doing his first year. There's such a fine line with making this tournament, not making the tournament. Coach K at Duke this year, unless they win it, they may not make it. It's just hard. Kentucky, Duke, having good players is not just about that. That was the case. Whoever had the top 10 recruiting classes will go every year. Not only go, they win it all every year. It's not about having the best players. There's so many things that go in that can go sideways. There's no guarantees that even works. I do a lot of things behind the scenes that fail, that nobody knows how many times I fail. My stuff just don't work sometimes, but failure is part of it. It's not all of it. Just like winning and victories, and that's part of it, but it's not all of it. It's the two things that are combined that is what motivates you. It's learning from my mistakes. And I'm sure I make more mistakes than people would ever think about. But I try to learn from them, and I try to get up when I fall down. Those are the things you try to teach your kids. I was talking to our seniors the other day, Monday, and I said, you're going to have humiliation, you're going to have embarrassment, you're going to have failure, you're going to have adversity like you can't imagine over the course of the next 20, 30 years. I hope that the adversity that you faced during the season, whether hard practices or being kicked out and coming in at 6 a.m, that knowing that you can get through things like that will help you along the way. because the only thing I can promise you is that you're going to have failure. So be prepared for it. So it's not about your victories that mold you or form who you are. I think your failures really determine who you are. So that's my motivation today, guys. I motivated you.
Last question, everybody. We'll go back to Joseph Duarte. Joseph, you got the last one. Go ahead.
Kelvin, as you go the next few days at the conference tournament, I'm curious, as a team that's not chasing a bid or a bubble team, where's the focus or the benefit of, if you do 3 games in 3 days, or what is the message to the team when you sort of can't look ahead too far, but you are safely in at the same time?
Like been a lot of. I don't even know what the dates are. What's tomorrow's the 11th. When is the first round? I don't even know.
Starts on Thursday. Starts tomorrow.
A week from tomorrow?
No, the conference. Yeah, it starts a week from.
No. The NCAA tournament. When is the first round? I mean, I don't know any of that stuff.
Friday.
So that's the first round game start Friday. So that'll be the 19th, right?
Yes.
Well, we find out who we play in the conference tournament tomorrow. They play tomorrow too. I found that out a while ago. So that's my message. We're gonna get on the bus and drive to Fort Worth. And last time we did that, Chris Harris's college career ended on the back of a bus heading north on I-45. Now, if that don't sound like a jazz song, like a college player's career should not end on the back of a bus headed to on I-45. There's got to be a song in there somewhere, doesn't it?
To Fort Worth, no less.
Muddy Waters and those guys would go to town with that. Like you can't drink champagne in the back of a truck or something. You can't end your career in the back of a bus on I-45. I mean, that's got to be something. Maybe Toby Keefe's a good friend of mine. Maybe he can take something and do something. Maybe Toby can do something with that. But no, the other stuff, I haven't talked to our team about the tournament. I've talked to them about, certain things about it. I wouldn't be honest if I said I haven't mentioned it. I have mentioned, I've talked to them about it. But after the game Sunday, they didn't know whether they was on foot or horseback, so I didn't say nothing to them about that. You look in Jamon Mark's eyes and you can see all the way to Bolivia. Monday was the day off. Yesterday was just about the mistakes we made in the Memphis game, of which there's too many to mention. Just correcting some of those. And today, we know Tulane and Tulsa both like the zone. So we'll sharpen our blade with our zone offense. We've played both of them, so we know, we'll do a smorgasbord of things and just get ready for that game. That's it. That's our next game. That's our next game on. That's our next game on Friday. So the other stuff, I mean, we've been in the NCAA tournament for months. We just didn't clinch a bid yesterday or last week. When we got our start, and then we got ranked high and we maintained our KenPom. It wasn't about, this team didn't try to make the tournament. They made the tournament. So we haven't really talked about that. It's always been the next game. We had a COVID week and we stubbed our toe during COVID. We had the power outages and kids having to double up in rooms and planes canceled, ice storms, stubbed our toe doing that. But, the season goes on, and when it was over, we played 24 games. And you look up and we went 21-3. It's pretty good. You know, the pessimist would say it's not bad. A optimist would say you had a great year. So you guys decide which one you are.